The Calgary Flames have plenty of options of what they can do at this year's NHL Entry Draft. The Flames hold the 9th overall pick, but many people think that they should trade up in order to assure that they get the player that they want. In this video, we will be exploring an article that shows two pretty realistic trades the Flames could do if they do decide to trade up in the draft. We will get into all that and more in this video, but first, I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe, because only right around 20% of the people watching are subscribed. So if you want to stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames, then make sure you join the fastest growing community of Flames fans on the internet. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. But without further ado, let's get into this article. It is from Flames Nation, and the first potential trade here is with the new Utah Hockey Club. So, Utah needs D. No, you do not need to take that in a way. It was not intended for me to say it like that, but of course, Utah needs some defensemen. They're moving cities. They're pretty much the whole franchise is being altered, and they have 0 defensemen signed going into next season. And the Flames, they have a plethora of defensemen. Maybe not fantastic NHL caliber defensemen. The Flames do have some pretty good prospects, but there are some D-men that could see their way going over to the former Arizona Coyotes team, the new Utah team. So let's let the article do the talking for us. Utah Hockey Club. Utah is going to be one of the busiest teams in the offseason. New owner Ryan Smith, remember when Ryan Smith was on the Edmonton Oilers, is going to want to make a splash or two to get his team into playoff contention in their first year playing in Salt Lake City. And let's just keep in mind, the Coyotes have not been a perennial playoff contender lately, so let's see if that changes in Utah. Utah has an abundance of draft picks and prospects already in their system. This is a team that needs help right now. The Flames have some interesting pieces to move to help Utah get to the next level. Let's continue. Utah's biggest need is on defense. They don't have a single defenseman signed for next season as of May 16th. Rasmus Andersson could be the perfect fit. He was the man in the thummy alongside our GM, Craig Conroy. Rasmus Andersson could be trade bait because he hasn't been like Markstrom and outright been unhappy with the situation publicly, but you could kind of tell on the ice sometimes he doesn't want to be here. Anyway, he is in the middle of his prime years in the NHL. He is on a good contract, and he has no trade protection. So Utah is definitely in the question here. Now, why would the Flames want to move a guy like Andersson? Well, because Calgary's at the beginning of a rebuild where they are not going to be cup contenders for a long time. I'm so sorry to the Flames fans that have hope that, we can be cup contenders sooner than later. It's going to be a grind. Andersson only has 2 years remaining on his contract before becoming a UFA at age 30, where he is likely going to receive a huge pay raise. By the time the Flames are actually good again, Andersson is going to be in his mid-30s. Now, that's a little bit of a stretch. We don't have to say the Flames are going to be that bad for that long. Obviously, I'd rather contend, within the next 5 years, preferably. We don't have to wait till Rasmus Andersson is in his mid-30s, but he may not be here for that, which is what the article is trying to say here. So, Andersson could be trade bait going to Utah. I'm sure Utah will be wanting to look at defensemen from plenty of NHL teams, as well as the ones who will be free agents that have all been linked to certain teams like the Toronto Maple Leafs and such. But Rasmus Andersson could be very good trade bait. So let's take a look at the proposed trade here for the Flames to move up in this draft. Well, Calgary would get the 2020 first round pick of Utah, which is the 6th overall pick, and a 2024 second round pick, which would be a 38th overall. Now, Utah would get Rasmus Andersson, and they would get Vancouver's 2024 first round pick, which, let's just say it will be between 28th and 30th, something like that. Maybe Vancouver will win the cup and it'll be 32nd overall. But either way, so Rasmus Andersson and a late first round pick for the 6th overall pick and a very early second round pick as well going to Calgary. Not the worst trade in the world. If that were proposed, I actually wouldn't be too opposed to Conroy pulling the trigger on this one. Rasmus Andersson is so great. I love Rasmus Andersson. Raz has been so solid for so long. He did have a bit of a shaky season last season, but a lot of Flames did. The Flames weren't all that great of a team when it came down to it. A lot of people think Rasmus Andersson could be worth more since he is in his prime years, and the trades would get a little bit finicky there. Now, if Utah becomes desperate for a defenseman, maybe the Flames could grab a little bit more in this trade. But either way, moving up to the 6th overall pick and keeping the 9th pick would give the Flames a great chance at drafting, maybe TJ Ginla at 6th and still hopefully getting a guy like Berkeley Catton or getting a very good defenseman and forward with the 6th and 9th pick. I do like this proposed trade. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Now let's get to the second pick. It involves a team kind of like Utah and where they're at in terms of contending and a franchise. Well, not moving like a franchise, we hope, but it is the Ottawa Senators, and this one would be an Ottawa goalie swap just in order to make the money kind of work in this situation. Now, once again, I'll just do a little prelude to the article here, and it does involve Jacob Markstrom, obviously, as our goalie, but we would need to grab Ottawa's goalie back, who did not have a good season whatsoever and just signed a pretty big contract in Joonas Korpisalo. So he would be coming back this way. Not the most ideal scenario, but it could be the most that the Flames could get for Jacob Markstrom. Now let's get into the article here. The Ottawa Senators. Just like Utah, Ottawa has a new ownership group who is going to want to make their mark on the franchise. The Senators also have a new management team and head coach. Yes, they just hired Travis Green. The days of Ottawa finishing in the top 10 in the draft need to come to an end. Yes, the Ottawa Senators have been really bad ever since they made the Eastern Conference Final back in 2017. They made the Matt Duchene trade, and everything went downhill for them. They have been pretty much bottom 5, if not bottom 10 of the league for what seems like forever now. And every year, they're ready to make a change, and it doesn't happen. And you even think back to 2017, their main goalie was Craig Anderson, who wasn't fantastic, but they really haven't had a solid number one goalie since Dominik Hasek back in 2006. He did get injured at the Olympics, and it hurt the Sens' chances of winning the Cup. They obviously made the Stanley Cup final in 2007 with Danny Heatley going for 50 goals, but it was Ray Emery. Maybe what needs to change for them is finally having another really good goalie. Maybe I'm overselling Jacob Markstrom here. Maybe this is exactly what Ottawa thought they would get with Joonas Korpisalo. But I think Markstrom is a better bet to really put them over the hump and help them push into the playoffs in that tough Atlantic Division. Let's continue the article. It's clear that Markstrom isn't happy with the Flames, and a trade is likely going to go down this summer. Ottawa has the 7th overall pick. The Flames would have to take back Korpisalo to make the money work. He has 4 years remaining on his contract. That's going to be the amount of time it's going to take the Flames to get out of their rebuild, so I don't see an issue with taking back his contract. Calgary could also buy him out after a couple years and wouldn't make much of an impact on their salary. So this guy really, whoever wrote this article at Flames Nation, does not think Korpisalo is great. I mean, that totally is the truth. He won't be able to get them over the hump, and most Flames fans want to at least try and commit to Dustin Wolf anyway. It's just the only way the Flames would be able to get the 7th overall pick is by taking that bad contract and somewhat bad goaltender in Korpisalo back. So let's get into the actual proposed trade here. Calgary would get the 2024 first-round pick, which is 7th overall, and Joonas Korpisalo, and the Sens would get Jacob Markstrom and a 4th-round pick just to sweeten that out. This one, it is a decently even trade. I know it sucks for Calgary to take back Korpisalo. I mean, it would be great for Ottawa to offload him and bring in Markstrom. And especially for Ottawa to throw in a 4th as well. I mean, why not? It's actually not the most, uneven trade ever. It's just not amazing for the Flames. And this one, unlike the Utah one, if it was proposed, I wouldn't want Conroy to pull the trigger on this one. I would want something better for the Flames. But again, let me know down in the comments what you think. Now let's wrap up this video with the comment of the day. And this one has to do with the plethora of options that the Flames have going into the NHL draft here in June. And I really like this comment from a regular once again on the channel. It is CeeLo. Tej will not be available at 9. There are sources within Chicago. They are heavy on Tej, who of course have the 2nd overall pick. If Chicago takes anyone but Tej, you contact Anaheim, who should be looking at a D-man, and acquire the 3rd overall pick and draft Tej. It will cost the 9th pick, 29th pick, so Vancouver's, and to get the deal sealed, throw a 3rd round pick in 2025. Then you finish what started and trade Markstrom to New Jersey for the 10th overall pick and draft D. Carter Yakemchuk, who is a Calgary boy, plays for the Calgary Hitmen. He's just full-on Calgary. We wouldn't be scared about him leaving for America. But very, very interesting proposal here. I think a lot of Flames fans may agree. Let's move up to 3rd, but then to take Tej with that, I'm not too sure. It's pretty... I gotta say, it's a bit of an outlandish scenario, but is it out of the realm of possibility? No, it is not. I love seeing kind of proposals or ideas like this one. which are absolutely in some ways ridiculous, but in some ways it could very well happen. We will, of course, just have to wait and see. I love all the mock drafts, all the mock scenarios. I'm sure we'll have many, many more heading up to the NHL draft. It's very fun. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you like what you saw here today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.